Okay, recording has started. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, doctor, yes.
Yes, it is written here on the screen of my computer that recording has started. Okay, is it clear now, Mr. Ali? The difference between the pessimistic view and the optimistic view.
So clear, doctor, as confirmation to our own revision. Thanks a lot, doctor.
Okay, not at all. Do you have any more questions?
Doctor, in case we need such questions just to be clarified, we can contact you at where do you prefer, doctor? WhatsApp, call?
Okay, you may send your questions to the group of this class, to the WhatsApp group of this class, okay?
Okay, doctor, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so last time I left the discussion of at the beginning of Act 4, Scene 3, and we know that a convoy from Venice has landed in Cyprus, and Cassio is going to take the place of Iago according to the play. So, meanwhile, Iago tells Othello that he has hired Roderigo to kill Cassio. Okay? But Iago wants to kill Cassio because he doesn't want Cassio to be the governor of Cyprus. He wants to get rid of him so that he himself, i.e. Iago himself, will be appointed the governor of Cyprus. At night, Roderigo attacks Cassio. They fight, they hit each other, neither dies. Iago appears on the scene, he kills Roderigo, and Cassio is rescued by Lodovigo and Montano. Okay? Okay, Act 4, Scene 3, the very beginning. You may skip the first 10 lines. Act 4, Scene 3, the citadel, enter Othello, Lodovigo, Desdemona, Emilia, and attendants. Line 9, 10, Othello leaves with Lodovigo and attendants. Emilia. How goes it now? He looks gentler than he did. Desdemona, he says he will return incontinent and hath commanded me to go to bed and bade me to dismiss you. Emilia, dismiss me? Desdemona, it was his bidding. Therefore, good Emilia, give me my nightly wearing and adieu. We must not now displease him. Emilia, I would you had never seen him. Desdemona, so wouldn't I. I don't wish I had not seen him. In other words, I approve of him. So wouldn't I. My love doth so approve him, that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns, prithee unpin me, have grace and favor. Okay? My love doth so approve him that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns have grace and favor. So this means that Desdemona highly appreciates her husband. And she appreciates his moral values. Okay? So her statement to Emilia refutes Iago's idea that she has married Othello in order to satisfy her sexual needs. Okay, so her statement, my love doth so approve him, that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns, have grace and favor. Okay, so she adores his frowns, his checks, even his stubbornness. So she doesn't associate his stubbornness and his frowns, let's say, with animalism or with bad character. Emilia says, I have laid those sheets you bade me on the bed. Desdemona, all's one. Good faith. How foolish are our minds. If I do die before, prithee, shroud me in one of those same sheets. Okay, she's going to be killed by her husband on her bed, and the bed is covered with white sheets, so the whiteness of the bed highlights the chastity of Desdemona. Okay, so she has lived as a chaste woman, and she has died as a chaste woman. This again refutes Iago's idea that Desdemona is a woman who is controlled by her animalistic drives. Okay, so in Act 5, Scene 1, Roderigo attacks Cassio. They hit each other. Iago kills Roderigo because he doesn't want the others to know that he has set himself against Cassio. And you know that Othello at the end of the play knows that his wife has been faithful to him. She has not given her handkerchief to Iago. Emilia admits that her husband had asked her to get him that handkerchief, and everything is known to Othello. So at the end, Othello realizes that his wife has been innocent. So Act 5, Scene 2, the very beginning. Desdemona's chamber. Enter Othello with a light, and Desdemona in her bed. Othello, it is the cause. It is the cause, my soul. Okay, so he's trying to justify the murder that he's going to commit. Okay, so he's going to kill his wife because he has a right cause. She has betrayed him with another man. Let me not name it to you, you chaste stars. It is the cause. Yet I'll not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow, and smooth as monumental alabaster. Yet she must die, else she'll betray more men. Put out the light, and then put out the light. Put out the light, i.e. put out the light of the candle. And then put out the light, the second statement means killing Desdemona. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can again thy former light restore. Here he is addressing the candle. I can again thy former light restore, should I repent me. But once put out thy light, here he is referring to the light of Desdemona, i.e. to her life. Thou comest pattern of excelling nature. I know not where is that Promethean heat that can thy light relume. When I have plucked the rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It needs must wither. I smell thee on the tree. He kisses her. Oh, balmy breath, that dost almost persuade justice to break her sword. One more, but thus when thou art dead I will kill thee and love thee after. One more and that's the last. So sweet was never so fatal. I weep, but they are cruel tears. This sorrow's heavenly, it strikes where it doth love. She wakes. Okay, here Othello dwells on the beauty of Desdemona. So that's why he doesn't want to spoil the beauty of her body. He doesn't want to kill her. Because if he kills her, he will spoil her beauty. So he intends to strangle her, to suffocate her. Okay? So he kisses her before he kills her. And this reminds me of Romeo, in Romeo and Juliet. In Romeo and Juliet, Romeo kisses Juliet before he kills himself. He thinks that Juliet is dead, although Juliet is not dead. Juliet has taken a potion that has made her look as if she were dead. So he takes her lack of consciousness for death. So he kisses her saying that I will kiss you and die upon a kiss. Then he kills himself. And Othello does the same thing. He says, I will kiss you so that I will die upon a kiss. So this is what he says at the end of the play. Okay, Desdemona, who's there? Othello, I, Desdemona. Desdemona, will you come to bed, my lord? Othello, have you prayed tonight, Desdemona? Desdemona, I, my lord. Othello, if you bethink yourself of any crime, and reconciled as yet to heaven and grace, solicit for it straight. So this means that Othello doesn't want to condemn Desdemona's soul to hell. Okay? So he doesn't want her to end up or to die as a sinner. So that's why he asks her to pray and to repent any crime that she may have committed against heaven and grace. Okay? So this means that Othello is in love with the spiritual values of Desdemona. So that's why he doesn't want to condemn her to eternal damnation. And eternal damnation here means that ending up in hell. So he doesn't want her soul to suffer in hell. So he wants only to punish the body. So that's why he wants her to repent any crime that she may have committed against heaven and grace. Desdemona says, Alack, my lord, what may you mean by that? Othello, I'll do it and be brief. I'll walk by. I wouldn't kill thy unprepared spirit. No, heavens forfend, I wouldn't kill thy soul. Desdemona, talk you of killing? Othello, I do. Desdemona, then heaven have mercy on me. Othello, a man with all my heart. Desdemona, if you say so, I hope you will not kill me. Othello, Desdemona, and yet I fear you for your fatal, then when your eyes roll so, why I should fear I know not. Since guiltiness I know not, yet I feel I fear. Othello, think on thy sins. Desdemona, they are loves I bear to you. Othello, I, and for that thou diest. So this also reflects the noble character of Othello. Okay? So here Othello thinks that he is playing the role of divine justice on earth. So that's why earlier on he says this sorrow's heavenly, i.e. this sorrow is a heavenly sorrow. So he sees himself as an instrument of divine justice, which grieves over punishing the loved ones. So that's why it is sorrowful. Okay? So he sees himself as God's instrument on earth. And he sees that it is his own duty to purge this world of a woman who defiles her marriage, which is something sanctimonious, something sacred according to Christianity. Okay? So Othello's revenge is not based on material gains, it is based on spiritual principles. Okay? So this scene in particular highlights, reveals the noble characters of both Othello and Desdemona. And in the scene, Iago's statement and view of both is refuted. I will skip some lines, almost half a page.
Sorry, doctor.
Yes,
His revenge is based on what?
spiritual principles, not on material gains. Okay, so he thinks that he is achieving divine justice on earth.
Okay.
Okay, so he feels that he is punishing the evildoer. Okay, so far he doesn't know that his wife is innocent. Okay, it is line, let's say 55. Othello, presently, therefore confess thee freely of thy sin. For to deny each article with oath cannot remove nor choke the strong conception that I do groan withal, thou art to die. Desdemona, then Lord have mercy on me. Othello, I say Amen. Desdemona, and have you mercy too. I never did offend you in my life, nor loved to curse you, but with such general warranty of heaven as I might love. I never gave him token. Othello, by heaven, I saw my handkerchief in his hand. O perjured woman, thou dost stone my heart, and makest me call what I intend to do a murder, which I thought a sacrifice. I saw the handkerchief. Okay? So Othello views his killing of Desdemona as a sacrifice. Okay? So it is not a murder. It is a sacrifice offered in the name of honor. Okay? So this means that he is defending, he is protecting his honor against any kind of stain. Okay, so this is how he sees his killing of Desdemona. It is a sacrifice. And in fact, both are sacrificed for the sake of honor. Desdemona and Othello fall as the sacrificial lambs of this European society that pits black people or white people against black people. Pits, P-I-T-S. Pit against. Okay? So they are to be sacrificed so that the human relationships between the two geographical places and between the two races should be purged of all kind of evil. Okay? So Othello kills Desdemona. I have Act 5, Scene 2. It is line 260. Okay? At the end of the play, Lodovico Graciano and Cassio come with Iago to Othello's house. They find out that Othello has killed his wife, and Emilia is a witness. Okay? Graciano says, "What is the matter?" Othello, "Behold, I have a weapon. A better never did itself sustain upon a soldier's thigh. I have seen the day that with this little arm and this good sword, I have made my way through more impediments than 20 times your stop. But oh, vain boast, who can control his fate? It is not so now." Okay? So here, Othello realizes that he is the victim of fate. Okay? So he is destined to go on this journey of purging the human community of the sources of evil that threaten the peace of this community. Okay? Othello's journey throughout the play is a journey into purging the human community of all sorts of evil that threaten the peace of this human community. So it is his destiny. And he realizes that it is his fate to achieve his goal in this play. It is not so now. Be not afraid, though you do see me weaponed. Here is my journey's end. Here is my butt and very sea mark of my utmost sail. Do you go back dismayed? With a lost fear, man but a rush against Othello's breast, and he retires. Where should Othello go now? How dost thou look now, O ill-starred wench, pale as thy smock? When we shall meet at Compt, i.e. at Doomsday, this look of thine, he is addressing Desdemona here, okay? O ill-starred wench, pale as thy smock, when we shall meet at Compt, this look of thine will hurl my soul from heaven, and fiends will snatch at it. Cold, cold, my girl, even like thy chastity. Oh, cursed slave. He's addressing Iago now. Whip me, ye devils, from the possession of this heavenly sight. Blow me about in winds, roast me in sulphur, wash me in steep down gulfs of liquid fire. O Desdemon, dead Desdemon, dead. Oh. So this is one kind of knowledge that he acquires at the end of the play. So he realizes that he has been destined to achieve a certain goal as a result of this journey from Venice to Cyprus. And I mentioned the significance of this journey. I don't need to repeat it again. He also realizes that Desdemona has been chaste. She has been faithful to him. And at the end of the play, I will read the last statement that Othello utters. Okay? Now here before Othello there is a statement by Lodovico. Okay? So as I said, Emilia bears testimony against her husband. She admits that her husband has asked her to steal the handkerchief of Desdemona. Iago admits that he has asked her to do this. He kills his wife, she dies. Then Lodovico says, you must forsake this room and go with us. He is addressing Othello. I.e. Othello will go with these Venetian men back to Venice. Your power and your command is taken off, and Cassio rules in Cyprus. Okay? So Cassio takes over from Othello. So there is a restoration of order at the end of the play. So Cyprus is not left in a state of chaos. For this slave, i.e. Iago, if there be any cunning cruelty that can torment him much and hold him long, it shall be his, i.e. he will be tormented, he will be persecuted. You shall close prisoner rest till that the nature of your fault be known to the Venetian state. Come, bring away. Othello says softly, a word or two before you go. I have done the state some service, and they know it. No more of that. I pray you, in your letters, when you shall these unlucky deeds relate, speak of me as I am. Nothing extenuate, nor set down aught in malice. Then must you speak of one that loved not wisely but too well, of one not easily jealous, but being wrought, perplexed in the extreme. Okay? So here Othello admits that he has been the victim of passionate love. Okay? So his love is controlled by passion. It is not controlled by wisdom. So that's why he has caused the destruction of himself as well as the destruction of his wife. Number two, of one not easily jealous. Okay? i.e. he is not a jealous man, but he was made, or he has been made jealous as a result of Iago's evil nature. So Iago has caused him to be jealous. Of one whose hand, like the Indian threw a pearl away, richer than all his tribe. This is Desdemona. Okay? So he has thrown away a pearl which is richer than Othello's tribe. Of one whose subdued eyes, albeit unused to the melting mood, i.e., who has never cried drops tears as fast as the Arabian trees, their medicinal gum. Set you down this, and say besides that in Aleppo once, where a malignant and a turbaned Turk beat a Venetian and seduced the state, I took by the throat the circumcised dog and smote him thus, and he stabs himself. Okay? So he has done services to the Venetian dukedom. He has defended Venice against its enemies. Okay? So he has been one of the Venetians who have defended the Venetian states. So he kills himself. Lodovico, oh bloody period. Graciano, all that is spoke is marked. Othello, I kissed thee ere I killed thee. No way but this, killing myself to die upon a kiss. He dies falling on Desdemona. Cassius did, I fear, but thought he had no weapon, for he was great of heart. Again, Cassio appreciates Othello, and I mentioned this before. I said Cassio appreciates Othello as a warrior, as a general, as a human being. He also appreciates Desdemona, and I elaborated on this issue. So again, this shows the noble character of Cassio. So that's why Cassio takes over from Othello. Okay? So Cassio represents the ideal values that Othello believes in. So that's why he takes over from Othello. So that's why we have a restoration of order at the end of the play. Okay? So appointing Cassio as the governor of Cyprus is symbolic of the new order that Shakespeare approves of. And order here means a society, a community, a political regime or system that doesn't discriminate between black and white people. Okay? So the human community at the end of the play is brought into unity as Othello and Desdemona die at the end. Okay? So Desdemona and Othello are united in death, and their death is a symbol of the unity of all human communities. Okay? So in this sense, they emerge as the sacrificial lambs of their society. Okay? So they unite black and white people, east and west, through their death. Lodovico to Iago, O Spartan dog, more fell than anguish, hunger, or the sea. Look on the tragic loading of this bed. This is thy work, the object poison's sight. Let it be hid. Graciano, keep the house, and seize upon the fortunes of the Moor, for they succeed on you. To you, Lord Governor, i.e. he is addressing Cassio here, remains the censure of this hellish villain, the time, the place, the torture. Oh, enforce it. Myself will straight aboard, and to the state this heavy act with heavy heart relate. So Iago, the evil, the villain, is left in the custody of Cassio, and he will be tortured. So the fact that Iago will be tortured means that Shakespeare doesn't approve of an evil European character like Iago. So Iago, as I said, represents the dark side, i.e. the shadow of the European character. Okay, Cassio represents the persona of the European character. So that's why Cassio takes over from Othello. So thus ends the play. Do you have any question?
Yes, doctor. Does white color on Desdemona's bed also represent this here or not?
It represents what?
This.
Okay, you were saying something about the white color on her bed. What does it symbolize, you said? Okay, I'll repeat your question.
Okay, doctor. Does white color on Desdemona's bed also represent this?
Of course, white is the color of death from a mythological point of view. It is also one of the colors that we have in myth as well as in archetypal stories. So white is representative of her death. It is representative of her innocence, of her chastity. It is also representative of her beauty. Okay, so the white color in this part has more than one significance.
Thank you.
Okay, not at all. Any more questions?
No, doctor, very clear, thanks.
Okay, now for the final exam, you have to study, as I said, King Lear, Macbeth, Othello. You have to study the theoretical background to these plays, i.e. everything that is related to the approaches that I have applied to these plays. You have to study the historical background to the Renaissance with which I started the course. You have to study the difference between the state of nature and the social order. You have to study the definition of tragedy according to Aristotle as well as according to Clifford Leach. You have to study Freud's philosophy of personality development, i.e. The stages of personality development that range from the id through the ego to the superego and how they apply to the play. You have also to study the optimistic and the pessimistic views of man and the Renaissance view of the ruler. And here we have two views. We have the pessimistic view and the optimistic view of the ruler. And we have also to study the part that is related to Carl Jung, the idea of personality development according to him, the difference between the anima, the shadow, and the persona, and how they relate to the play. I said the anima and the animus are represented by both Othello and Desdemona. The persona is represented by Cassio, and the shadow is represented by Iago. And you have to try to study the plays from the different points of view that I have mentioned in class. You have to focus on tragedy in the three plays, because the three plays are tragedies, and it is very important to study the three plays as tragedies, and it is very important for you to analyze the elements of tragedy that you have in each play. You have to study each play as a tragedy. You have to study Shakespeare's view of the ruler with reference to King Lear and Macbeth. I discussed them in detail. You have to study the plays as dramatizations of the dialectical relationship between the state of nature and the social order. and how Shakespeare approves of the social order. Okay? So when you have to discuss a topic like this one, you have to show your reader, i.e. me, the difference between the state of nature and between the state of nature and the social order in the play that you have to discuss. So it is not enough, let's say, to discuss the state of nature only if you have a question on this, or the state or the social order only. No. When there is a question that is related to man's development from the state of nature to the social order, you have to discuss how man lives in the state of nature and how he lives in the social order. So in this case, you have to relate the answer to how the state of nature is portrayed, is dramatized in one of these plays, and how the social order is portrayed. So it's not enough to write theory at the very beginning of the exam in your introduction, which may run into 2 or 3 pages. I don't want you to do this. I want you to show me how the social order and the state of nature are portrayed, let's say, in Macbeth, or in King Lear, or in Othello. So I want to read about this portrayal as they are presented by Shakespeare himself. I don't want you to discuss what I have said with reference to the different philosophers. Okay, you may use it as a methodology. Okay, so you write the introduction. At the end of the introduction, you write the thesis statement. Then in the second paragraph, you write about, or you introduce your methodology. So the methodology depends on the question. If the question has to do with the state of nature and the social order, you have to define the state of nature and the social order in a paragraph. It's enough. Then you show me in the rest of your essay how Shakespeare disapproves of the state of nature and how he approves of the social order. Then in the conclusion, you summarize the main points. And if you are dealing with the plays as tragedies, you have to define tragedy as a methodology. Then you show me the elements of tragedy in the play that you have to discuss. And you have to discuss in detail. So it is not enough to say that the tragic hero should be a noble character. What does it mean? So you have to give me examples that show that Othello is a noble character. King Lear is a noble character. Okay? So it is not enough to say that King Lear's tragic flaw is that he doesn't understand the true nature of people. Give supporting details. Give analysis to show that he doesn't understand the true nature of people and the consequences of this tragic flaw, because this tragic flaw always causes to tragic consequences. Okay? Now, on the exam, you may have 2 obligatory questions. Okay? So I may give you an essay question and a short answer question. So in this case, the essay question will be allocated 60 points. So when I say write a well-organized, thought-out essay on the following topic, it means that the topic that I refer to should be developed in an essay. And you have taken academic writing before. And in this course, you have studied the part of the essay and how to write a well-organized, thought-out essay. So if you have a 60-point question, it means that it should be written properly. Okay? So in this case, you write an essay, and the second question will be a short answer question. So in this case, you don't have to worry about writing an essay. Just answer the question. But it should be a proper answer. Okay? So you don't have to waste your time, let's say, writing a long introduction. You may write a short introduction, it's fine. But I want the information. that answers the question to be present in that answer. Okay, so in this case, I will say answer the following two questions. So the first thing that you have to do on the exam is you have to read the instructions at the beginning of the exam. Don't start writing before you read the instructions, because in the past, many students thought that they were going to answer one question, they answered one and they didn't pass. Okay? So if, let's say, you have studied Macbeth very well, and you start the exam and you find that you have Macbeth, you start writing on Macbeth. This is wrong. This is not how you answer the questions on the exam. Read the instructions, read the two questions. Okay? So if you have to write two questions, start with the essay question. So in this case, you may spend 1 hour writing the essay question, and half an hour should be allocated to answering the short answer question. Okay? Your exam will be 1 hour and a half. We will not have a 2-hour exam this year. Your exams, or the duration of each of your exams, will be 1 hour and a half. Okay? Or I may give you 2 essay topic questions. So I will say, write a well-organized, thought-out essay on one of the following 2 topics. So if I say, can you mute the microphone, please? Okay. So when I want you to write one essay, I say, write a well-organized, thought-out essay on one of the following 2 topics. So this means that you have to choose one question. So choose the question that you think you can answer properly. Don't write 2 answers. Okay? In this course, I usually have more than 200 students. Okay? I always have 210 exams, 225, 215. So if you write 2 questions, when I ask you to answer one, I will take the first answer. I will not read 2. I will read the first answer, period. So if the first answer passes, you will pass. If it fails, you will fail. So read the instructions properly before you answer the questions. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
doctor,
doctor.
very
Very, very clear. Thank you.
Okay, do you have any more questions?
No, doctor.
No, doctor. In case we have, as you said, that via WhatsApp. Thank
Okay.
you, doctor. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Big thank for you, doctor.
Okay, not at all. It is our duty. Thank you for attending, and thank you for taking the trouble of reading and studying and attending every single online session. And I think the course is highly beneficial. I'm not saying this because it is my course. The course is highly inspiring, and those who have attended the online lectures have benefited a lot. So it is different than taking the notes and studying them for the final. So this doesn't mean that I'm saying those who didn't attend may not pass the course. You know, their names are covered and we deal with the answer. Okay? So have the best of luck and do your best on your exams. I will see you next year at university. Okay, thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Doctor, thank you
Thank
for
you,
letting
doctor.
me
Thanks a
attend
lot.
the
All right.
class.
See you. Thanks.
Okay, Mean, okay, not at all, Ned. You are more than welcome.
Thank you, thank you.